Today we're testing out an experiment to see what happens if we combine silicone mold rubber with liquid nitrogen. Those of you who follow us on Instagram may have seen our latest poll about our upcoming mystery project. Well, 71% of you guessed correctly, and you now know that we have our very own DIY kit coming out soon. But what could be inside? Leave your guesses down below and be sure to join our mailing list so you stay in the loop. Over the years, we have done several cool experiments with liquid nitrogen and with silicone rubber, and we've also had hundreds of comments asking to see what happens if we combine the two, liquid nitrogen and silicone rubber together. Today, we are going to put those to the test, and hopefully it'll be exhaustive enough that everyone knows what happens. Me too, because I've never done this before. Here's the basic idea. We'll take some uncured silicone, mix it with liquid nitrogen. We'll pour some liquid nitrogen into the uncured silicone, and then we'll see how the cured silicone reacts with the liquid nitrogen. We've got some silicone rubber and the catalyst that goes with it, some styrofoam cups, liquid nitrogen, a little bit is in this cup here. We've also got these pieces of cured silicone rubber. Now these are things that I already poured out and just let cure completely so they are no longer liquid. We're gonna test all of these. So the first step is gonna be mixing up some silicone rubber and then pouring some liquid nitrogen into a cup. Normally when this silicone is mixed up properly, it takes 45 minutes to an hour to cure. That is affected by humidity and temperature. And so what we're gonna do is mix them up. Some of it will just get poured into a separate mold, and some of it will be in a cup full of liquid nitrogen, and we'll keep topping that off so it stays full and freezing cold the whole time. After about an hour, we'll come back and we'll see how the two compare. 116 grams. So technically, the correct amount is 10% by weight, which would be 11.6 grams. We are gonna maybe add a little bit more, 12 or 13 grams. That should speed up the process a little bit, but not too much. I worked for several years as a sculptor and mold maker, and I have mixed up so much silicone rubber in my time. Oh man, hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of batches. Maybe not thousands, but many hundreds. There's our silicone. That's nice and mixed. Now let's take a cup and just fill it all the way with liquid nitrogen. And we're gonna take that cup and put it inside two other cups just for some extra insulation. We want this to hold on to its cold for as long as possible. First test, we're gonna pour some silicone down into this cup. That's gonna stay in there for like 45 minutes to an hour. Then we're gonna pour some more of it just right onto the table. Once it's cured, it will peel up nicely. And then the rest of it, we're gonna see what happens if we pour some liquid nitrogen into the container with the silicone. Silicone, like everything, makes the liquid nitrogen boil. It has formed some very interesting shapes already. It just froze as it dribbled in, and it may not move from those spots the entire time. I'm gonna have to top that off because the heat from the silicone has obviously boiled away a lot of our liquid nitrogen there. Now let's just pour some out onto the table, and we're just gonna let that sit there. It'll puddle out a little bit more, and then it'll cure into a sort of semicircle. All right, top that off. It's nice and full. Now let's see what happens if we pour some of this liquid nitrogen into our silicone. So normally the silicone just puddles back down kind of immediately, and you can see that it's holding its shape a little bit more. It's less of a syrup, and I don't know of a food that's that consistency. So we're almost at cream cheese texture there. Some parts of it are just hard, where the liquid nitrogen just sat in contact with it. It's crunchy. Here in the middle, it's still a little bit goopy. Everywhere on the sides where I wasn't stirring very actively, it's just completely hardened. So it kind of slows it down, cools it down. It stops being quite so runny. You saw how easily it poured out of the container. Some parts of it are solid. Other parts of it are just cold enough that they're very slow. I think if I hold it for a while, it will start to drip out of the non-completely frozen parts. But before, it was just pouring out by this point. Now we're gonna test a little bit of already cured silicone. This is very stretchy, extremely flexible. Sit this down in and see if it changes. I'd say that's different. Wow. That's not just a little less flexible, that just completely shattered. I'm gonna try and smash this on the table and see if it kind of explodes. 3, 2, 1. So silicone definitely freezes, and when it does, it becomes very brittle. Let's see what happens if we freeze it, but then just let it sit out until it thaws. It's taking its old shape back. It's regaining some flexibility. It's still cold, but it's not brittle cold. I'm able to twist it again. Hold it between my hands now. Just warm that all the way up. See, that's back to flexible. Seems completely back to normal. All right, I've got one more bigger block. We'll just drop this down and see what we get. It warmed up too much. I got some interesting cracks in it, but it had warmed up enough. That's weird though, it's still like holding the shape I twisted into. Oh, that's funny. It's almost like a hot metal deforms to the shape I smash it into, but I can't really play with it or move it from there. I think the inside is too cold and the outside has warmed up just a little bit. Our silicone that we poured down into the liquid nitrogen has now been sitting in there for quite a while. We've topped the liquid nitrogen off several times. Here's the piece that we poured down on the table, and I did get a little impatient and tried to peel it off when it wasn't quite ready. So it got some wrinkles in it, but at this point, it's basically cured all the way. It's just stretchy, twisty rubber, just like the other stuff we made. Now we want to take our frozen silicone out of the cup. We're just gonna set it in this bowl and see what happens. I think that the cold has probably stopped all of the chemical reaction, that the catalyst has not made the silicone begin to cure or solidify. I think as this heats up, it's just gonna melt. The funny stringy shapes we have are just gonna turn into a blob. I think it's just gonna be goopy, but I haven't done this before, so I don't know. Let's find out. Clink. Not a sound silicone usually makes. Oh, and it's breaking too. All right, I'm gonna try and pour off the nitrogen here. Oh, we can already see the really thin strands. I was just blowing to clear out some nitrogen, but my breath is so much warmer watching this. It's puddling already. I think that already proves what I suspected is correct. That is completely gooey and liquid still. Let's keep letting that melt. This has now melted all the way through, and look at that. That is just gooey liquid. That is not cured at all. Same batch, mixed at the same time, and this actually has not cured 100%. I was remembering that this was like 45-minute silicone, but I think I am off on that because I mixed this at a little over 10% and it's still not cured all the way. But you can see there's a big difference. Like the top of this has really cured. It's got a skin over it. And then this right here is just goopy completely. While it's wet, silicone sticks to like everything. And then once it cures, it sticks to pretty much nothing. It's weird stuff. Thank you for all our watchers who wanted to know what happens if you put silicone into liquid nitrogen. They are fun to do. We don't want to do too many of them, but if you've got any cool ideas of things you want to see us test out that we haven't done before, let us know down in the comments and we might just try it out. That's fun. Guys, the day's not over. The box at the top will transport you to our last video, and you should go check that out. The box at the bottom will show you what YouTube thinks you need to be watching next. And if you're not a subscriber yet, then hit the bomb here in the middle. That way you'll never miss out on a fun video. Don't forget to ring that bell, and we will see you in the next one. Talk to you then.